with episodes presented every morning at 8:15 on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Your reader has been Rosemary. Thank you for listening.
Hello, this is Elaine, and for the next half hour I'll be reading from the May 4th, 2026 issue of the Chautauqua Gazette on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. This is a special Mother's Day edition and a message from the editor-in-chief, Katrina Fuller, more than a definition, on mothers. The word mother is one we hear often. It's many a first child's word, or at least some variation of it. We can picture tiny tots toddling around, babbling mama or mommy. How lovely that a child's first word is often naming one of the most important people in their lives. Merriam-Webster defines mother as a female parent for its first definition, followed by source or origin for its second definition, and ends its list with something that is an extreme or ultimate example of its kind, especially in terms of scale, that is, a mother of all construction projects. The first definition is a common understanding of the word. The second is thought-provoking, and the final definition seems a little out of place without the context. But motherhood can be extreme in both the good sense of the word and the bad. There are most definitely highs and lows in the roller coaster ride Mother's Face. It's a journey that involves and envelops the mother in a series of seasons of life. This journey looks different for every mother, and the ups and downs can be as different as night and day. Of course, there are the joys of motherhood, a child's laugh, their first words, the beauty of watching them learn and grow in their first years. As they get older, there is the ability to provide a listening ear, imparting advice as needed, and even still, some fun and whimsy along the way. As the children reach adulthood, there are still the phone calls for help, the joy of watching them come into their own, and the pride of seeing them well on their way. These seasons are the fuel that get mothers through their difficult times, the memories they will cling to in hardship. The hard times can be incredibly hard for mothers. Some mothers face the loss of their child, the heart they held so close outside of their body. Some mothers face difficulties with mental health or their physical health that lead to incredible difficulties both internally and in their day-to-day lives. Some mothers face the horrors of war and somehow balance that strain and fear while caring for their families. Some mothers face difficulties with conception and carry the grief of loss with them every day. There are so many issues that mothers across the globe face day in and day out. We couldn't possibly name them all here. Mother's Day is one day on the calendar that we collectively set aside to honor mothers. We might take our mothers out to brunch. Perhaps we'll pick up some flowers and spend a lovely spring day together. It is, of course, right and good to celebrate Mother's Day and honor our mothers for all they have done for us. It's important to take the time to give them a glimpse of the joy, devotion, and love they have provided us and how much it means to us. However, we must not forget that this day also brings heaviness to the hearts of many. The grief of a lost loved one, the pain felt for a child so dearly desired but never born, and the struggles of mothers who have endured infertility. This may well be a difficult day for many for myriad of reasons. Keeping that in mind, let us celebrate mothers as they should be celebrated, but also gently hold space for those whose day may be tinged with sadness. To be a mother is to carry both joy and ache, often at the same time, often in silence. It is a role shaped not by a single definition, but by 1,000 lived experiences. On this Mother's Day, may we honor all mothers, including the ones who are grieving, longing, healing, or simply enduring. May we meet them with all with the same quiet understanding that motherhood in all its forms is both tender and immense. And a Mother's Day tribute to a very special mom by featured writer Ellen DeTanto, Johnny's Grammy and Gillian's mom. Any mom can tell you that being a mother is not for the faint of heart. Whether you gave birth to one or many children, or were gifted children through adoption or a fostering process, you know that the moment you hold your precious child for the first time, your life will be changed forever. From that point on, you do all you can to provide the very, very best for your child or children, and you, as the mom, will always put their needs ahead of your own. The mothering instinct is very real. This is a story of tremendous love and loss, seen through the eyes of a mom watching her daughter experience 32 traumatic months with her young son, Johnny. He was a childhood cancer warrior diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma at age 7. Johnny sustained treatments of all kinds for 25 months over almost a 3-year period, with a 7.5-month period of remission. Johnny laid down his sword on April 15th, just after his 10th birthday. Johnny's story is one of amazing strength, faith, and a positive attitude that belied the disease that was ravaging his body and took away what he wanted most, to be an ordinary kid. The story of his parents' search for treatments is extraordinary and included thousands of miles of travel, including 3 trips to cancer research clinics in Germany. But this story is about Johnny's mom and how she navigated through those long months with Johnny, continued to support the needs of his 3 younger siblings, kept working as a school counselor until the last several weeks of Johnny's life, and somehow managed to maintain her important connections to relatives and friends. There are not enough adjectives to adequately describe the level of caring and support that Jillian gave to Johnny. As her mom, I couldn't be prouder of the inner strength and fortitude she mustered to do what was needed every step of the way. When I look back to my early days as Jillian's mom, I recall a couple of trips to the ER. One for a febrile seizure and another for stitches on her chin after a playground fall. Then there was 9/11 and the need to reassure her and her brother that the world was not filled with hate, and that being kind and caring was important in all aspects of our lives. Those incidents, while scary and etched into my memory, seem trivial now compared to the gravity of the challenges that Jillian faced with Johnny's cancer. The initial diagnosis, treatments, tests, imaging results, painful cries, countless meetings with doctors and clinicians, time away from her other very young children, days and nights of tears and holding on to hope and praying for a miracle. All of these will continue to shape her life as she finds ways to hold her grief and channel it to help her family and others facing similar situations. I saw in Jillian a mom who made sure Johnny could participate as much as possible in the life of his siblings despite his declining health. Earlier this year, when Johnny's 2 sisters were playing basketball in the Upward program, Johnny wanted to go watch the game and see some of his buddies who had been teammates in prior years. Since he could no longer walk, it was a challenge on a snowy day to get him into the car and to the venue. I watched as Jillian carefully placed Johnny in a wheelchair and proudly pushed him into the gym. He lit up as people greeted him. Jillian knew he needed to be there, and she smiled as she talked with other kids and adults as well. In the days and weeks that followed, I observed Jillian lovingly assisting Johnny with his daily care and sitting and lying close to him, soaking up precious moments. She did so with such grace and care, providing comfort and love to her son, knowing only as a mother could that his time on earth was coming to an end. Johnny's passing is still so raw, and the words could cushion the blow are difficult to find for Jillian on this upcoming Mother's Day. I found some of the words from the Serenity Prayer to be comforting to me, and hope that they provide some comfort to her as we grieve the loss of our shining star, Johnny Lamacuso. Oh God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. A postscript, because this was written specifically as a tribute to Johnny's mom. I still need to acknowledge the relentless research, time, effort, love, and faith that Johnny's dad provided to his son. That's a story for another day. Older Americans Month. Older Americans celebrate with annual expo at SUNY Fredonia. Each May, communities nationwide observe Older Americans Month, a tradition established in 1963 under President John F. Kennedy to recognize the contributions and lasting impact of older adults. Locally, that celebration will take place on Thursday, May 21st, with the annual CHQA Aging Expo, Chautauqua, Aging Expo and Conference at Williams Center on the campus of State University of New York at Fredonia. The event will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and is open to older adults, caregivers, and their families throughout the county. A highlight of the day is the exhibition hall, where community-based organizations participate in a community vendor fair by sharing information about health and wellness programs, financial and legal services, housing and transportation options, caregiver support services, and public benefits. This is a great opportunity to ask questions directly with representatives, gather materials, and learn what services are available close to home. No registration is required for browsing the exhibition hall. In addition to the vendor exhibitions, educational breakout sessions will take place concurrently in 8 classrooms around the perimeter of the hall at 10:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m., and 1 p.m. Topics include diabetes education, scam prevention, money management, Medicare 101, Medicare fraud, legal planning, falls prevention, pain management, nutrition tips, and more. Registration is recommended to reserve your spot in these powerful and popular informational sessions. Walk-ins will be welcome if space is available. The annual expo is designed to make accessing information easier by bringing a wide range of services together in one convenient location. It also creates a space for attendees to connect, learn, and discover programs that support independence, health, and well-being. Mark your calendars for May 21st and plan to join us in celebrating Older Americans Month at our annual expo and conference. To register, you can visit chautauquacounty.ny.gov/CHQAging Expo. If you don't have a device, call New York Connects to register at 716-753-4582, and one of our staff can help you get you registered. Transportation assistance can be requested through the registration link as well. You can check out the website at chq-gov.com/office-aging to see all the programs and services offered. Chautauqua County Office for the Aging Services offers nutrition and wellness programs to support you in your journey toward total wellness. You can also call New York Connects at 716-753-4582 for more details and information about any of the nutrition and wellness programs provided by Chautauqua County Office for the Aging Services. And you are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Chautauqua Gazette on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And in Library Spotlight, James Prendergast Library Association, the Chautauqua Cattaraugus Library System. The Prendergast Library is one of the largest libraries in the Chautauqua Cattaraugus Library System. In 2025, they had over 110,000 visitors and offered over 1,100 programs to the community. A building rich in history, the Prendergast Library was a gift to the city from Alexander Prendergast, the city's founder's son, and his wife, Mary. They commissioned its construction in memory of their son, James A.J. Warner of Rochester. James A.J. Warner of Rochester was the architect who designed and built the library over an 11-year period. On January 29, 1880, the James Prendergast Library Association of Jamestown was established by a special act of the New York State Legislature, and the doors opened on December 1st, 1891. The style of rounded arches, rock-faced masonry walls, the turret in the southeastern corner, and the building's general air of ruggedness are all defining features of the style of America's leading 19th century architect, Henry Hobson Richardson. The library underwent extensive changes in 1960 as services and readership increased. The most recent renovation was completed in the fall of 2025 with a remodel of the front doors, circulation desk, and children's room. If you haven't been in the library for a while, stop in and see the changes and discover all of the services that are offered. Other services beyond books and DVDs include free programming for all ages, 3D printing, tech help by appointment, meeting room space, and printing and copying, to name a few. Make sure to follow their Facebook page or visit their website for all the great summer reading programs for all ages. The Prendergast staff can't wait to welcome you to the library, and they're located at 509 Cherry Street in Jamestown. The phone number is 716-484-7135. Some special events coming up in May. May 16th, Saturday, 11 a.m., children's program. Learn about sensory differences with Mrs. Matthews, and registration is required. On Tuesday the 19th at 3, Chef Jim Sessions focuses on French cuisine. And Friday, May 22nd at 10:30, the family movie Goat with free popcorn. And Tuesday, May 26th at 3 p.m., the children's program, Crochet and Crafters Club. Let's see what else is coming up. The date hasn't passed yet. So Tuesday, May 12th at 5:30, Upcycle at Prendergast Library's Curiosity Club, a teen and adults patrons, reuse and repair week. Wednesday the 15th from 4:30 to 6 p.m., all ages movie night. Everyone is invited to drop in, watch a movie, and eat snacks. This month we'll be showing Moana 2. And also on Wednesday, May 16th from 1:30 to 3 p.m., make pinch pot bunnies with Pearl. City Playhouse registration is required due to limited available spots. No experience needed, but patrons need to be at least 14 years old to participate. And the program is funded by the Murray Bob Education Initiative. On Tuesday, May 19th at 5:30, Upcycle CHQ at Prendergast Library's Curiosity Club. And on the 26th at 5:30, the same thing, a material exchange and showcase. And at Ripley Library, Saturday, May 16th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., a wide selection of annuals, perennials, vegetables, and houseplants will be offered at very reasonable prices. In addition to the plant sale, there will be a variety of baked goods donated by local volunteers. Plants and baked goods can be dropped off at the library on Friday, May 15th from 9 to 5, and proceeds will benefit the Ripley. On Tuesday, May 19th at 6 p.m., history lectures, Chautauqua Civilian Conservation Corps Camp. The Civilian Conservation Corps was a vital federal program established in 1933 to improve infrastructure and to provide jobs for young men during the Great Depression. Pam Brown is a municipal historian for Panama, Harmony, and North Harmony. She is one of only 2 New York State registered historians in Chautauqua County. For more information about programs at Ripley Library, call 716-736-3913. The Chautauqua Region Community Foundation partners with Community Heart and Soul to deepen community engagement. Chautauqua Region Community Foundation and Community Heart and Soul have announced a new partnership to strengthen communities across the Chautauqua region by expanding access to a proven, resident-driven approach to community engagement. Community Heart and Soul engages the entire population of a town in identifying what they love most about their community, what future they want for it, and how to achieve it. Designed for small cities and towns with population up to 30,000, the process helps communities listen at scale, build trust, and translate residents' stories into shared priorities that help guide decisions over time. Combining Community Heart and Soul's resident-driven approaches with Chautauqua Region Community Foundation's local relationships, expertise, and resources, the partnership aims to leave a lasting impact on communities across the Chautauqua region by helping residents and local leaders come together around what matters most. Through this partnership, the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation will utilize the Community Heart and Soul model to help communities engage more people, listen to a broad range of local voices, and turn what residents share into clear priorities that can help guide future action. We're honored to partner with Community Heart and Soul to engage with our community in new and meaningful ways, says Tori Ergong, Executive Director of the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation. Moving beyond grant making into community partnership and capacity building is a goal for the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation, and Community Heart and Soul is making that goal a reality. Mark Sherman, president of Community Heart and Soul, shared his enthusiasm for the collaboration by saying, "We're excited to partner with the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation to support community engagement in southwestern New York. When residents take the time to listen deeply and act on what matters most, they build a strong foundation for the future." Community Heart and Soul is a nonprofit organization building stronger, healthier, and more economically vibrant small cities and towns across the United States. In addition to promoting a community heart and soul model, the organization trains and supports a nationwide network of certified coaches who provide training and guidance to over 130 communities. Chautauqua Region Community Foundation partners with its community to ignite positive change and create legacies of impact in the Chautauqua region. Chautauqua Region Community Foundation was established in 1978 by visionary community leaders who were committed to creating a vibrant region where every resident feels connected and has the opportunity to thrive. And a short article called Mother's Heart, Peace, Hope, and Joy with Linda Kent. I love being a mom. I love the cuddles, the chaos, the love freely given, especially when the kids were small. Little children give their love so easily. Their sloppy kisses and sticky hugs more than make up for the mess and stress of running around after them. We all know there'll be a time when they'll break our heart, but it doesn't stop us from loving them. It did surprise me how early my youngest one broke mine, though. His siblings were already in school. He had his year at home alone with me and was so excited to go to school just like his brother and sister. He was finally going to kindergarten. He excitedly picked out his backpack and his lunchbox. He practiced climbing the bus steps on roundup day. He was so ready to go and chatted about it almost nonstop. Morning, the first day of school. Pictures were taking. I didn't notice it at the time, but after I could see the distress increase on his face and his smile become forced in each picture. The bus came, and with a final hug and a wave, the kids clambered on. The older two walked back a few rows, waved as they sat down. He topped the stairs, turned into the first seat, pressed his little face against the window, and stared forlornly directly into my heart. I burst into tears as the bus pulled away and cried all morning. I don't think I've ever felt anyone's eyes in my soul the way I felt my son's that day. The sadness in them that day was a big change that had just occurred, and things would never be the same. He recognized it and wanted to make sure I knew it too. It's a memory I will never forget. I had a moment like that with my other children too, a moment that changed my heart profoundly. Each child touches our mother's heart in ways that changes forever. I would have it no other way. And finally, home installation of fiber optics draws an exciting new aspect of Jamestown BPU fiber project. Jamestown Board of Public Utilities, BPU, officials are excited to announce a new development that will help the build-out of the Jamestown BPU fiber project this spring and summer. Crews of contractors will soon install new fiber optic lines from the street to the exterior of homes in BPU electric territory where Jamestown BPU fiber is offered to customers. Door tags will first be hung on property doors to inform residents of the installations, with links to online information explaining the process. Following approximately 2 weeks after the door tags are hung, installations will begin in those neighborhoods. Free installation of fiber drops will include small, nondescript boxes neatly and securely attached to homes at no cost to customers as part of the New York State Connect All program grant that has funded the project. A fiber drop is 1/8-inch fiber optic cable installed from the street to the exterior of the building right next to or as close as possible to existing electrical utility lines and meters. This is an industry standard installation that connects homes to the Johnstown Community Fiber Network. A fiber drop valued at $450 is installed at no cost or obligation to the homeowner. The drop simply makes the home fiber ready, but there's no obligation to sign up for the service. The fiber drop is an exterior-only installation, and property owners do not need to be home for it. An indoor installation is only performed if a customer chooses to sign up for Jamestown BPU Fiber Internet service. The installation of fiber optic drops provides us with the opportunity to ensure that all our electric customers will have access to free installation of the fiber lines to their home at no cost to the New York State before the New York State grant providing the service to our community expires at the end of the year, explains BPU General Manager Christopher Selstrom. The drop installation makes the home fiber ready should the homeowner decide to sign up for the Jamestown BPU Fiber Internet service, continues Selstrom. It's an exciting step as we move forward to offer low-cost, high-speed internet as a BPU utility service to our electric customers. Selstrom reminds residents that if they sign up for the service before the end of October, the first 90 days of BPU internet service will be free. Customers may enroll in the Hometown Fiber project at jamestownbpu.com/fiber, F-I-B-E-R, or by calling 716-661-1633. Jamestown BPU Fiber is currently available from two internet companies, FiberSpark and Sumo Fiber. Should a resident wish to opt out of the free fiber optic drop installation, the door tag includes a QR code for more information, or they may click directly on jamestownbpu-fiber.com/fiber-drop-FAQ. And finally, birds banding and little explorers at Audubon. Two opportunities remain to observe bird scientists in action and birds up close during Audubon Community Nature Bird bandings, anytime 7 to 11 a.m. on Saturday mornings, May 9th, that one passed, and May 16th. There's a photo that was taken at the bird banding at Jamestown's D. Arlene Bonnet was recognized in an Audubon Nature Photography Contest. To learn about the 2026 contest with $1,600 in cash prizes, you can go to audubon.cnc.org/photo contest. At Saturday's Little Explorers, 10 to 11:30 a.m., you and your favorite 3 to 8-year-old can investigate soil, rocks, and other things that make up the ground you walk on. Register by Thursday so you don't miss it. With nearly 600 acres and 3-story building to explore, the Nature Center is located at 1600 Riverside Road, 1/4 mile east of Route 62, between Jamestown and Warren. For details on all of these programs, call 716-569-2345 or visit audubon.cnc.org/events. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the Chautauqua Gazette. We read from the Chautauqua Gazette on Mondays at 8:30 a.m. Your reader has been Elaine. Thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Radio reading serves people who are blind or have a print disability throughout Western New York and Southern Ontario's Niagara Peninsula. From its broadcast studios at 1199 Harlem Road in Cheektowaga, just north of Clinton Street. Almost 40 years and more than 300,000 hours of radio readings to those unable to read printed matter on their own. Our broadcast signal is provided at no charge by WNED. Volunteer radio readers broadcast daily readings of newspapers, magazines, and books. For more information on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, call us at 716-821-5555. Good morning. Welcome to another broadcast day of the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, a private not-for-profit organization. As always, please feel free to contact us with your comments, suggestions, and questions you may have. And please stay with us. Our Ring the Buffalo News is coming up next.
The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or